Coming on here. There he is. There's the big man, Matt. How you doing? Good to see you all, Cap. How's everything going? And we got a lot to talk about. We got a double event that's going on. We're gonna have Matt's gonna talk about options. I mean, some of you probably very familiar with him. Um, he's been on our events many of times, and once again, he's been trading just as long as I have been a market maker. I still own that Amazon that you talked about, and it's pretty funny. I did a video on the other day. Did a video on Amazon just the other day regarding about a huge iceberg order that got filled in, which I'm going to talk about once Matt's done with it. But the stocks have had a major resistance levels at like 190, and it was like a 400,000 share order out there. And we'll talk about what happened to that 400,000 shares today because a miracle happened. But it's not about just understanding about just seeing orders, because a lot of you want to know how to hedge yourself trading options. And there's so many people here that think they know how to trade options, but they really don't. Everyone's got their own style and it didn't work. But I've been following Matt for a while now. And you know what? I only hear good things about it. And we always want to have him back on to kind of teach you guys a couple little strategies and, kind of relate what we kind of do together, because that's how good traders work. Listen, you got to know how to trade the stock, which will lead to learn how to trade that option. And sometimes, you'll see a great option play. And, that's why we have him on. But I don't want to take too much time from him. He's going to go on and talk a little bit about it. So, Matt, thanks for coming back again. Here, stage is all yours.
Thanks, brother. I appreciate it, man. I love logging in and listening to a little bit of country music, man. That's awesome. loving me some country. Good stuff. All right, brother. Thanks again for having me. I love Fausto, 500-pound brain in the space, man. Yeah, he and I have been trading since the 90s. It kind of tells you how advanced in age we are. Well, how about senior? I like the term senior, or maybe levels. But yeah, been a while. But all right, folks, let's go ahead and get airborne. Real quick reminder: not a registered investment advisor, broker dealer, any of those type of things. I call it the tick, the trader in command. You sign for your own airplane. You sign for your own portfolio. At Top Gun Options, you're essentially getting to eavesdrop, look over my shoulders at what I'm doing. But as always, if you're going to ever put any real capital at risk, make sure you talk to somebody before firing one of those trades. Registered investment advisor, broker dealer, any one of those things can help you out. But just wanted to make sure we got that out of the way. All right, no distractions. Make sure you silence your electronic nicotine, because I guarantee you, all right, man, this guy's starting out with guarantees. I guarantee you've never heard what I'm about to tell you. Matter of fact, you've heard the exact opposite of what I'm about to tell you. We're going to talk about the Death Star today. All right, I logged into a live trade brief and the guy's talking about Star Wars. Yeah, because Fausto and I are old enough to remember the first one, and probably went to the similar movie theater. I was in South Jersey, watching Star Wars. What's the Death Star? The Death Star was this massive space station the size of a moon, right? That was taking over the universe. I think it got attacked a couple times, maybe blown up by some teenagers in a space Winnebago, but it came back even more powerful, right? That's the stock we're going to talk about today. This stock is literally taking over everything that it touches. And it is the only stock you need to trade for the rest of your life. And that does make sense to you. You need to sit up straight and pay attention. Former Navy fighter pilot. We'll talk about that in a second. So let's start with a multiple choice quiz. Which fighter aircraft would you rather fly? And if you're sitting here going, what's this have to do with trading? Everything. Trading's a form of combat. Somebody's going to win and somebody's going to get their rear end handed to them. That's a form of combat, right? So I'm going to give you a multiple choice quiz right now. If you were going into combat today, there you go, Lewis, an X-Wing. I actually like that answer. If you were going into combat today, would you rather fly this aircraft? And again, you don't have to know anything about aviation or combat. Take a look at that picture. This is the cockpit of an F-4 Phantom. Over 300 switches and dials in this cockpit. The pilot would spend a lot of what we call heads down in the cockpit, looking at all this stuff, instead of eyeballs out of the cockpit, looking for enemy aircraft, MiGs, AAA, anti-aircraft artillery, or SAMs, surface-to-air missiles. Very labor intensive aircraft. It was so labor intensive, they threw another dude in the back seat just to run the radar. So a very, very labor intensive aircraft. Or would you rather fly this aircraft? Two flat panel displays. That's it. Does anybody see any of those steam gauges in this cockpit? Absolutely not. This is the F-35, the Lightning II, the most advanced state-of-the-art aircraft on the planet. It's a creepy jet, to be honest with you, folks. It's invisible to radar. It's like the Wonder Woman jet. And it's actually learning what the pilots are doing. Okay, he or she looked at this when this happened. I'm going to file that for later. The jet is so intelligent, it limits the amount of information displayed to the pilot at different portions of the flight. He or she doesn't need to know this right now. I'm going to keep this to myself. So in combat, ladies and gentlemen, as in trading, you want to minimize as much as you can to focus on the critical. That's the stock we're going to talk about today. So by the end of today's brief, I'm going to give you an up-to-date intelligence brief. We got to take a look at what's going on around the world, what's going on with earnings, what's going on with the Fed, what's going on with Fed lieutenants running around. I don't think there's going to be a cut this year. I think there will be a cut this year. Very confusing stuff going on. So we'll talk through that a little bit. I'm going to show you the only stock you need to own and a good substitute to trade. Absolutely. Yeah. F15E. I love it. Number two, you got it, Lewis and Jan. Number two is the obvious choice. So we're going to talk about the only stock you need to own. How's the smart money doing real quick? You know, Fausto and I always laugh about hedge funds, right? Oh, I wish I was in a hedge fund. That's where the smart money is. Ladies and gentlemen, the smart money ain't that smart. Look at last year or the last couple years. Let me put my cheaters on here. Look at last year, ladies and gentlemen. The average, this is the Buckley hedge fund index. The average hedge fund returned 9.29%. Why should you sit up and listen to me? Look at what happened from the summer to my birthday, December 31st. From the summer to my birthday, folks, the market was all over the place. I'm going to show you my personal brokerage account. 151% return last year. Look at the Dow. The Dow did a little bit better than the average hedge fund, 9.82%. Look at the NASDAQ, 38%. The S&P was up 20% last year. This is a screenshot from my personal brokerage account. You can download my E-Trade statements on my homepage. 150% return. And look at when my portfolio started destroying everybody else, when we got volatile. Like Fausto alluded to, man, some people, options are great, man. I love volatility. As an American, I don't necessarily like volatility. That means most likely something bad is going on. But like Gordon Gekko said in the movie Wall Street, if you want a friend, get a dog. I'm going to teach you how to capitalize off the stupidity of others. Real quick, if you don't know who I am, like Fausto alluded to, Matthew Buckley, call sign Whiz. I was a Hornet guy, flew the F-18 for the Navy for about 15 years, graduated from the Navy Fighter Weapons School, which is a lot of words for Top Gun, where I was a bad guy pilot. I flew in jets painted like enemy aircraft. I flew bad guy tactics against our good guys to get them ready to go overseas. I deployed for Operation Southern Watch, Noble Eagle, and Enduring Freedom. What's this have to do with trading? Everything. As a young aviator in the early 90s, now I'm really dating myself. I'm like, you know what? You don't join the Navy to get rich. You join the Navy to see the world, to serve your country, to fly cool jets. But I said, you know what? Let me start investing. And the military retirement ain't nothing to write home about. Excuse me. So why don't you start trading? So I started trading some stocks, and I'm like, wait a minute, a mutual fund. I think I was 21 years old when I wrote a $25 check to the USAA Aggressive Growth Mutual Fund. But after a while, I'm like, why am I paying somebody to pick stocks for me? My girlfriend at the time, who became my bride, kept Ann Taylor in business, and I paid an American Express bill. I bought those two stocks. Short story long, I started applying everything I learned as a fighter pilot to my trading. Having a strategy, implementing tactics that support the strategy, managing risk. Okay, this guy's going to preach to be about managing risk. That's a picture of him inverted over the skies of Top Gun in Nevada. Yeah. As an options trader, as a fighter pilot, I want to minimize all known risk. This is dangerous enough, right? There was a movie, The Sands of Iwo Jima, Sergeant Stryker. Life's tough. It's even tougher if you're stupid. So I applied everything I was learning as a fighter pilot to my trading, and it worked incredibly well. If you're familiar with the movie Batman, or you've been to Chicago, that's the Chicago Board of Trade right there, folks. You see these big windows right here, right there? That was my trading firm. I popped up on the radar of one of the largest volatility options trading firms, headquartered right there in the Chicago Board of Trade. That's our trading floor. I helped build a hedge fund, a volatility arbitrage hedge fund. I helped build the retail brokerage options house. Some of you might have traded at Options House. It was a good time, man. Oh, you bet, Louise. I appreciate that. It was an honor to serve. I was a managing director at this multi-billion-dollar volatility arbitrage firm. And then some of you might even remember this. I was the CEO, the founder of the Options News Network, ONN.TV. CNBC for years, paid lip service to options. We'll have, John and Pete Najarian on, and then they're gone. So they kind of paid lip service to options. I'm like, my firm's like, Whiz, build us an options network. I'm like, done. We'd shoot on the floor of the CBOE and the CBOT, and I'd give you all a behind the scenes look at what was going on in the options market. It was a blast, but I jokingly tell people I felt like Eddie Murphy in Trading Places. I was a little old retail trader who popped up on the radar. They're like, what do you do? I'm like, here's what I do. I treat it like combat, and here's my checklist and everything. You're like, yeah, you're hired. So I felt like Valentine, a guy off the streets going to hang out with the smart money. I got to be honest with you, folks. The smart money, the majority of the time, ain't that smart. I wrote a book called The COVID Crash. I predicted the COVID market crash to the day, essentially January 22nd, 2020. Donald Trump on CNBC. COVID's not coming here. Dumb question, Joe Kiernan. Why are you even asking me that question? I trust ye. Good dude. I looked into this camera. I talked on this microphone and in a live brief at Top Gun Options. I said, get out. Buy puts on the S&P 500, get long volatility. I had a buddy in the White House who was we call him a loop. You ever see the braids they wear? We call them loops. He's like, dude, here's what's happening. We made $2.5 million in about 3 weeks. As the smart money, Bill Ackman, Kyle Bass, Larry Fink, screamed on CNBC, we need to close the markets. Everybody just needs to, no. Ain't no closing the markets, fellas. I'm on the other side of all your bullish positions. Do you remember what happened in the COVID crash? Every day on CNBC. Even the president, his tweet, stocks are looking good here. I'd be a buyer of stocks. The next day, the Dow went down 3,000 points. We made $2.5 million in a couple of weeks. I wrote a book about it. Smart money ain't that smart, folks. You are the smart money. Real quick, before we get airborne, I also have a podcast called the Max Afterburner Podcast. It's ranked in the top 2.5% of podcasts. If you care about those things, there's 3.2 million podcasts in the world, so I'm pretty happy about that. And as Fausto knows, my passion, other than waking up and trading and helping folks like you learn how to trade options, is the No Fallen Heroes Foundation. 3 years ago, this month, May of 2021, I went down to Mexico. If you've ever seen the movie Lone Survivor with Marcus Luttrell, about Navy SEAL Marcus Luttrell, I went to Mexico with Marcus Luttrell. If you like Black Rifle Coffee or you trade the stock, Jared Taylor, JT, one of the founders of Black Rifle Coffee. So me, Marcus, JT, another Navy SEAL veteran, and an NFL player, NFL veteran suffering from just horrific CTE. And we did psychedelic-assisted therapy. It saved and changed my life. I got home and I said, this is how I'm going to end veteran suicide, man. We need psychedelic-assisted therapy for veterans. We could talk about that in a separate brief, but I started the No Fallen Heroes Foundation. We're a charity, and we provide healing grants to veterans, first responders, and their families to go sit with psychedelic-assisted therapy. Love this mission. Anywhere from 22 to 44 veterans take their own lives every day. That is a mass shooting. That's a mass shooting every day in the veteran community. What are we doing about it? I'm trying to do something about it. Okay, real quick. That's one of my favorite pictures. I'm clearly older than that, but this is when we left Chicago. I'm like, you know what? I can do this on my own. And I need a beach and the sand and the sun. No offense, Chicago. February is a survival situation. So that's when we moved to Boca Raton, God's waiting room, and I started Top Gun Options. Okay, 2009. Let's get airborne. This isn't going to shock some of you, but let me try it anyway to see if this is going to, be shocking or not to you. Wall Street is lying to you. Now, I know half of you just went, duh, but the other half said, well, who's lying to me? And what's the lie? How many of you have heard since day one of investing, you can't put all your eggs in one basket, right? You can't put all your eggs in one basket. You have to diversify. Diversification is important, critical. You can't just diversify. It's a lie. Who's lying to me, Whiz? This guy. Ladies and gentlemen, whenever you hear the term or the word broker, delete that word and put in the word commission. Stock, real estate, yacht, aircraft, any broker makes money off of, say it with me, commissions. How many of you have seen the movie The Wolf of Wall Street or Boiler Room or the movie Wall Street? All right, fellas, let's open up the phone books. Let's get the little old lady in tennis shoes out of the stock we got her in yesterday and into this one today. It's called churn. Cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching. They make money with you being in a ton of positions. Now, before somebody smart or thinks they're smart types in the chat box, well, Mr. Whiz, smarty pants, you're not so smart. I don't pay I'm at Robinhood. I don't pay a commission. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're not paying, you're not the customer. Okay? If you're not paying anything, you ain't the customer. As Fausto can tell you, did anybody see the movie this year or last year called Dumb Money? The customer, ladies and gentlemen, at Robinhood is Ken Griffin at Citadel or Stevie Cohen. Ladies and gentlemen, it's called payment for order flow. If you ain't paying, you're not the customer. So I'm going to, as a fighter pilot, I don't have a lot of time, man. We are direct and we do respectful truth over artificial harmony. So I'm going to be very blunt right now. Diversification is for stupid people. Now, if that hits you a little wrong, let me clean it up with an old man being nice. Diversification is a protection against ignorance. It makes very little sense for those who know what they're doing. So that was a nice bunch of words to say diversification for stupid people. Ladies and gentlemen, the only stock you need to own for the rest of your life is Amazon. It is diversified in and of itself. I'm a political science major from South Jersey, South Philadelphia, and I like pictures. Let's go to the pictures. Lady, and I need to update this. Look at, folks, just look at, let's go to charts here, man. This is net revenue in billions of dollars, ladies and gentlemen, and it is what we call a hockey stick. It is going straight up into the air, ladies and gentlemen, okay? That's net revenue in billions. That's called a hockey stick. How about the annual revenue by segment? I remember, so Andy Jassy, the current CEO, and Jeff Bezos, they came up with AWS, Amazon Web Services, in a condo in 2013. It didn't even exist. Today, ladies and gentlemen, AWS is Microsoft. It's its own Microsoft, folks. So look at the annual revenue by segment. And again, I need to update these too. AWS, ladies and gentlemen, is obscene right now, the amount of money that AWS makes. Now, when you say cloud, when somebody says the word cloud, like, the cloud, cloud infrastructure, what do you think? Old me would think like, well, that's Microsoft. Oh, no, Google. Google has to own the cloud. Or maybe Microsoft. No, Apple. People have iPhones cloud. You'd be wrong. The largest market share owner of the cloud by leaps and bounds is Amazon. It ain't Microsoft. It ain't Google, and Apple's not even on this screen. And look at how they've grown market share in cloud. Now, I'm going to get political for half a second. Democrats hate this chart. Why? Delete the word Amazon. If you showed me this chart 20 years ago and said, Whiz, would you buy this stock? I'd look at it and say, all right, let me look. Let me put my glasses. I didn't wear glasses 20 years ago. Sales. Wow. This is obscene. Wait, well, hold on. Well, free cash flow. Okay. Profit. They barely make any money. I would short this stock. It's going out of business and I'd be broke. So, ladies and gentlemen, why did I say Democrats hate this stock? Jeff Bezos, folks, doesn't even know what the word dividend means. Jeff Bezos has operated Amazon since day one. And what has he said to himself? If I make $1 this quarter, if Amazon makes $1 this quarter, I'm taking said dollar and I'm buying a competitor. I'm buying an airplane. I'm putting somebody out of business. I'm suing some. They take every quote profit and it goes right back into the Death Star. Why do Democrats hate this company? Is because Jeff Bezos sits there with a smirk on his face and says, what? Oh yeah, Amazon doesn't. We're barely making it. We don't make any profit. I love that. I absolutely love that. Right? So look at that chart. Sales, free cash flow, profit. Because they reinvest it. That's how you build a bigger Death Star, ladies and gentlemen. So, Whiz with a small account, trading his trades, $8,900 in a week. Kristen, you guys are amazing. I trade a smaller account. I've done 22 Amazon trades this year, $31,000 in profit. Christine, month-to-date profits on Amazon, 107 grand with more to go. Thanks, Whiz, for all your expertise and guidance doing day trades with short calls to protect my Amazon profits. And back in November, Ann made me look like I just started trading. Monday through Wednesday, in 3 days, I made $90,000, $152 on short calls against my 30 contracts utilizing Whiz's guidance. Now, before I sit here and sing sunshine, lollipops, and rainbows about you just need to trade this stock, one stock for the rest of your life, I'm a fighter pilot. I'm an options trader. What are the risks? Ladies and gentlemen, what are the risks of trading just a single stock? Anybody ever hear of a small mom and pop company called Lehman Brothers? 150-year-old company gone, I think it was in 2 days. How about Bear Stearns? Jim Cramer knows Bear Stearns, right? Do you remember? He looked like Khrushchev at the UN, a bald guy yelling and slamming his shoe on the table. Bear Stearns is safe. You're an idiot if you don't put your money in Bear Stearns. It's a buy here. 2 days later, it was at zero. Good call, Jim. How about pets.com? How about Enron? I could spend the next 34 minutes walking through the graveyard of stocks that have gone to zero. But if you're smart, you're sitting here and you're looking at these examples. So can stocks go to zero? Yeah. Stocks that, say it with me, don't own anything. Lehman Brothers and Bear Stearns owned paper. They were counterparties. They owned nothing. Looks like Lehman Brothers didn't even own the sign on the building. Pets.com owned a stinky sock puppet and a domain name. Enron was a middleman of electricity. They didn't even own the building they were in. Stocks that don't own things can go to zero. Is it physically possible for Amazon to go to zero? Yes, and then no. Amazon owns things. If you own things, it's not going to zero. There is some sort of value. I did consulting, years ago, south of Miami International at an Amazon fulfillment center. I've walked on a couple aircraft carriers in my life, folks. I thought that was a chaotic, dangerous place. These Amazon fulfillment centers, this one was the size of an aircraft carrier, robots and people. It was mass hysteria. They own things, ladies and gentlemen. Full disclosure, when I left active duty, I went to FedEx. I left after 8 months. I hated it. Showing up to Memphis at midnight and flying until 8 in the morning and trying to sleep during the day in a hotel room. Why do I bring this up? Because about 7 years ago, I forget, a buddy of mine who was still at FedEx became a captain, moved into management. He called me. He's like, Whiz, you trade? Yeah. Who's Jeff Bezos? I'm like, he owns Amazon. Why? He's like, that's weird. A buddy of mine at GE Aircraft Leasing called me and said Jeff Bezos and Amazon they leased 5 airplanes. And I said, wow, he's going to do it. And my buddy's like, he's going to do what? And I said, he's going to put you out of business. And he hung up the phone. Guess who called him about 6 months ago, laughed, and hung up the phone? I did. You ready for this? Amazon is now, look at the dates. Look at the dates of these headlines in the Wall Street Journal. September 2021, Amazon is now shipping cargo for outside customers in its latest move to compete with FedEx and UPS. Look at the date. Amazon is poised to pass UPS and FedEx to become the largest delivery service by early 2022. And then about 7 months ago, the Wall Street Journal, pop. The biggest delivery business in the U.S. is no longer UPS or FedEx. Amazon is eclipsing both carriers, and the gap is growing. Recently, FedEx, on their knees, went and begged for help from Amazon. So, ladies and gentlemen, they own things. They're bigger than FedEx and UPS. They own airplanes too, ladies and gentlemen. They went from leasing them to, you know what? Why don't I just buy them? How about this? Years ago, I told Top Gun Options members, I'm like, you want a couple stocks to short? Walgreens and CVS. I forgot about Rite Aid. I didn't even know they still had Rite Aids. Why do I bring this up? Because Rite Aid went Chapter 11 recently. Amazon Pharma. Why would you go to a Walgreens or a CVS with everything locked behind plastic when you can get on your phone and order a toothbrush that'll be here in an hour? Amazon's secret operation to gather intel on rivals. This was in last week or 2 weeks ago before earnings. This report in the journal came out. This reads like it's like scuzzy. It reads to me as an investor like the greatest thing that they're ever doing. Staff went undercover to, their code name was Big River, to scoop up info on pricing, logistics, and other business practices. Folks, this thing is incredible. Whoa, what's this guy doing on the screen? Everybody calm down. Why is he on the screen? Because we're talking about risks, potential threats to just trading Amazon. Why is he on the screen? Well, the first year of his presidency, Donald Trump woke up one day, or he didn't go to bed, depends on who you listen to, and Adderall and stuff, grabbed his cell phone and did what? Somebody needs to do something about Amazon. It's a monopoly. Somebody should break it up. Big monopoly. Listen to me. That day, the stock went, holy crap. The president of the United States said we're a monopoly and somebody should break us up. What happened? Nothing. 3 years later, at the last year of this presidency, what happened? Grab the cell phone again. Bigger, longer tweet. Jeff Bezos, Amazon, monopoly, break them up now. Washington Post, everything awful, break them up. What happened that day to the stock? It went up and has never looked back. But there are absolutely political risks to trading just one name, and that name being Amazon. Between us, ladies and gentlemen, they are a monopoly, but it is too late. I call Amazon Mercury. At this point, if you tried to smash Amazon up, it would fracture into 12 little monopolies. I just told you FedEx and UPS are getting dominated by Amazon Air. Amazon Prime is Netflix. It makes Netflix look quaint. AWS is Microsoft. So Amazon, folks, the parts are worth more as a part than together. So the ship has already sailed. Now, Fausto and I are old enough to remember like the story of Standard Oil or Microsoft or IBM or AT&T. The average time between when Uncle Sam wakes up one day and says, you know what? We think you're a monopoly, and them actually doing something about it, the average is 10 years. The quickest was 5, the longest was 15. And the last time I checked, depending on Tesla or Amazon stock price, Jeff Bezos is the richest man in the world. I think he might have one or two attorneys on staff to try and fight getting broken up. But I'm here to brief you on threats to Amazon. So look at this. And this was what, 2 weeks ago in the Wall Street Journal. Amazon says more packages are arriving in a day or less after a hefty investment in fulfillment. After earnings were out last week, AI. If you're an NVIDIA, you are putting your eggs in one basket if you're like an SMCI or NVIDIA investor. Why don't Jeff Bezos and Andy Jassy are like, AI, yeah, we've been doing it for about 20 years. You don't think we're massively into AI? You're an idiot. So with this whole AI bubble, which is popping right now, Amazon, you get your AI in here as well. James Woods, end of last year. Do you remember like Lululemon? People were walking into Lululemon and just walking out and stealing stuff, or Walgreens and stuff like that. I want you to read this. Just so everybody understands the game here, Lululemon and these other national brand stores don't care about theft because A, this crap is in fact virtually worthless, and B, they would rather sell it online. No fuss, no muss, no employees. You can forget the rest of the stuff because it's kind of political to read the bottom. Invest in Amazon, folks. Pretty soon it'll be the only marketplace left. And he's right. Why would you get in your car in San Francisco to go to a CVS when everything's locked up? It makes zero sense. Now, real quick, folks, I tell people I'm bipolar, and so am I. I can't stand Jeff Bezos. I think he doesn't pay his employees. I can get into a million reasons as an American why I kind of don't stand Amazon. They do put mom and pops out of business. The Wall Street Journal did an expose that's, if you came up with a widget, you made a widget in your garage, proprietary stuff, and it's awesome, and you're selling it on Amazon, and Amazon goes, wow, that Whiz widget he made in his garage is really selling well. Whiz, we're pulling it off of our marketplace. Why? We need to know how you made it and where you get your materials. Well, it's kind of proprietary, man. Well, we need to know that you didn't steal it, and it's just the right thing to do. Okay, I trust you, Amazon. Here's how I build it, and here's where I get my stuff. Thanks, Whiz. 2 months later, breaking news, here's the Wizard widget, and it's 50% cheaper than mine, and I'm out of business. I read that thing in the journal. I think it was like 2 years ago. I wanted to rip the paper in half. I'm like, awful human beings do something like that. And then I'll get home, I'll put on my $10,000 Armani and go, good. Just like Gordon Gekko said in the movie Wall Street, if you want a friend, get a dog. So, folks, if you have a conscience, don't trade Amazon. If you want to potentially print money, you buy Amazon. I'm here to teach you how to trade, not to have a conscience. Now, I briefed you on some of the risks of trading just one name. Let's talk about the benefits. You trade the same name and you potentially profit as an options trader, no matter what direction the stock's moving, up, down, or sideways. As an options trader, I can profit up, down, or sideways. If you're just a stock trader, you can also make money three ways. It's the buy, hope, and pray. You buy the stock, you hope it goes up, and if it doesn't, you pray, right? Options trader, up, down, sideways. You stay focused on the news and events that impact that name, Amazon, instead of a bunch of different stocks and ETFs. You become an expert in Amazon, reducing time spent on other positions. Folks, when I was at that firm in Chicago, we had a research desk. And by desk, I mean it was 25 people. It was a massive desk. A junior analyst had one or two names that she or he had to eat, breathe, and sleep, had to know everything about it. A senior analyst, maybe 3, 5 at most. You know how many times I got up from my desk to walk over to the analyst desk and go, hey, man, you were supposed to eat, breathe, and sleep this name. Did you see what happened today? Whoops. Let me tell you a quick story. Moved to Boca Raton. An orthopedic surgeon found out about me, Top Gun Options. I need your help, man. I have office hours. I have surgeries. I'm like on my phone in between appointments trying to trade. Please help me. I'm like, all right. I met him at Starbucks. Thank God he's a doctor because I like passed out and hit my head, right? He booted up his computer, opened it up, showed me his brokerage account. Hand to God, he had 33 positions. I'm not kidding. 33 positions in his brokerage account. And he tried to explain, well, I think this is a pot stock. I'm like, did you just say, I think? And then he's like, and then this one's like a surgical stock. A buddy of mine got me into it. It needs, when it gets back up to where it's down 50%, but when it gets back up to where I bought it, I'll get out of it. I'm like, Doc, you're a doc, right? Yeah. That means you're somewhat intelligent. Yeah. And you know math a little bit. What's the math behind? I'm like, stop talking. You're done. Simplify all of this crap and just buy Amazon. He is now one of the happiest people in the world because he simplified his trading cockpit. I do this for a living, folks. I trade Amazon. I have some psychedelic stocks that we can talk about separately. And I day trade the S&P 500 in and out. My massive long-term bullish position is Amazon. Old me as a little old retail trader, I had like 10 names in my options house account. I'm like, what am I doing? So, ladies and gentlemen, simplify your trading cockpit. All right, real quick. And then we'll look at Amazon and the stock and stuff. So, if you're sitting here going, he's kind of talking to me. I have 5, 10, 15 positions in my account right now. I should probably consolidate, but I must diversify. Does not compute. They bit me in the neck, Whiz. I'm a diversification vampire. Then guess what you could trade? And I also trade in our solo Amazon service, XLY. Ladies and gentlemen, shrimp are a vehicle for eating cocktail sauce, right? So the XLY is a vehicle for eating some Amazon. About a quarter of the consumer discretionary ETF is Amazon. But look at what else you get. Some Tesla, some Starbucks, some Booking, some Home Depot, McDonald's, Nike, Lowe's, Dollar General, Target. So ladies and gentlemen, in addition to trading Amazon, I'll also trade XLY for people who are like, I need to diversify with. It just creeps me out. There's your diversification. But one more time, folks, Amazon is diversified in and of itself. How do we target Amazon and XLY for max profit? Right now, and every Monday at 10 a.m. Every Monday at 10 a.m., we do our live solo Amazon brief. But what I'll tell you, if you decide to join us, I'm going to show you to be a Marine. You're going to establish a beachhead. We're going to establish what I call a base position. We're going to fly all the way out into the future. I'm going to show you my account and look at a long-term bullish position on Amazon a couple years out into the future. Then we're going to trade what we call the front months. What's the front month? You're sitting in a front month, May, June, July. So technically there's two positions right there. There's a long-term bullish position, and then there's a front month. It depends on what's going on in the front month. Amazon's going up. We're going to get bullish. We'll trade some bullish spreads. We'll buy some calls. Amazon's going down. Ain't no uh-oh. We can make money on Amazon going down with some bearish spreads or buy some puts. Uh-oh, it's trading sideways. It's not doing anything. Who cares? As an options trader, there's a tactic called an iron condor. If something's moving sideways and not going all the way up or all the way down, it's called an iron condor. So ladies and gentlemen, let's go take a look at Amazon. Let me eject out of here. All right, so Amazon. Bring up Amazon. And I just love, take a look at the chart. 3, 6. Amazon, look at the last earnings report. 2 earnings ago, I'm sorry. So pop after earnings, and here was half the gap. So it popped on earnings, maybe filled the gap just a little bit, and then never looked back. Okay. Look at this earnings. Pop and hasn't filled the gap. It's not looking back. That is an extremely bullish thing to be seeing, is an earnings report, and it just doesn't look back. But let's take a look at the options real quick, and let's fly as far out into the future. So this is what's called an options chain. When I show you how to join here in a little bit, take the full throttle training. I'm going to give you 8 training videos from this is the stock market to this is a call, this is a put, right? Real quick, for all my stock traders out here, if you wanted to buy 100 shares of Amazon right now, it's $19,000. If you got 19 grand, knock yourself out. Why would you do that? One options contract, ladies and gentlemen, controls 100 shares of stock. So you could buy a single options contract in Amazon and control those 100 shares of stock. Let's just look at that real quick. Let's fly in our time machine all the way out here to December of 2026. Okay? December of 2026. Right now, Amazon is trading at what? 190 bucks. We could look, here's the one that these are called strikes, right? Right here in the middle. At the 190 strike, which is what Amazon's trading at right now, we could buy a single call option. Okay? If you just bought a single call option, let me get rid of my drawings here. Let's click on that. Buy a single December 26, 190 call. That gives you the right to control 100 shares of Amazon. Why buy the cow when you can get the milk for free? You would come out of pocket 5 grand. Wait a minute. Why would I spend 19 grand when I could spend 5? Precisely. You don't get a dividend with this stock, folks. And last time I checked, I'm sure Jeff Bezos and his ex-wife own maybe 1 or 2 more shares than you can physically ever buy in your life. Why would you buy the stock? It makes 0 sense to me. Now, I just saved you $14,000 that you could go deploy elsewhere. Or we could do another tactic. This right here, folks, is the most basic options tactic. I'm buying a call. When you're bullish on something, you're buying a call. If you're bearish on something, you buy a put. It's an insurance policy, right? Most people in this room, even if you know nothing about options, you're probably like, that makes sense. If I buy a call option, I'm bullish. I think something's going up. If I'm bearish and I think something's going to go down, I've heard you can buy puts. Yes. Now let's flip something real quick. If you're bearish and you buy a put, who's on the other side of that trade? Somebody who's selling you that put. I don't think this stock's going down. You're going to buy puts? I'll sell you those puts, man. I think it's going up. So what we could do in addition to buying this call, buying 1 December 190 call, why don't we sell the at the money put? At the money means what's the stock trading at right now? 190. Okay. We could sell a 1 December 26, 190 put. $2,100. So, ladies and gentlemen, I just stair-stepped you down from spending 19 grand to buy 100 shares of stock. It was 5 grand to just buy a call option. And now I've gotten it all the way down to $2,100. Okay. Now, before we go any further, we have got to look at what is the risk. The max potential loss in this trade is $21,000. Why? On your screen right now, this is the most basic P&L diagram ever. This is called stock. When you're long stock, that's your P&L diagram. This is called synthetic stock. Instead of buying the shares, I'm using options. Synthetic means you don't own the shares, so you don't get a dividend, and you don't get to vote. Both things you don't care about with Amazon. The max potential loss in this trade is based on what? Amazon going to 0. I already briefed you in the middle of this brief. What are the odds that Amazon's going to zero? Slim to none, and Slim just left town. Look at the probability of Amazon going to zero in the next 2 years. It's Mr. Blutarski's GPA from Animal House, 0.00. And there's probably 17 decimal points and a 1. Amazon can go to the odds of getting eaten by a golden retriever are never 0. They're infinitesimal, but they're never 0, right? So what I tell people is if you're really, really, really worried about Amazon going to 0 in the next, first of all, you don't do synthetic stock on names that might be going to 0 in the next couple of years. Amazon clearly isn't. But you could buy what we call a protective put, or I call it a disaster put. What's a disaster? Well, if the stock went down 20%, that, people usually say that's a bear market, right? Hey, the stock went down 20%. It's in a bear market. Maybe you buy what I call a disaster put, like underneath the stock, 20%. What's that? 2024, maybe about 150, 145. That was quick mental math. Okay. So look at that, ladies and gentlemen. My cost increased a little bit to $3,400. But what did my risk do? Wow. Instead of risking 21 grand on the trade and it going to 0, I put a little protection underneath it called a protective put. So I reduced the risk down from 21 grand to $7,900. Is that, if you followed this even a little bit, welcome to potentially being an options trader. Okay. Actually, I wasn't even at mid-market there. So there we go. So the cost comes up a little bit because you're buying a put. I'm buying some insurance. If you looked at that last slide before we jumped over here, next to the term synthetic stock in parentheses, it said the words what? Protective put. I never went flying in my F-18 without an ejection seat, right? Even though I thought I was the world's best fighter pilot, I love me. So I will show you how to place some protective puts if you want to sleep better at night. Now, me personally, in my personal account, I don't use protective puts underneath. Why? Because I'm pretty sure Amazon's going up and to the right in the next 2 years, and I want to deploy that capital somewhere else. But I will train you if you're like, even though the risk of Amazon going to 0 in the next couple of years is almost 0, it's not 0. I'm going to do a protective put. I brief you, man. I'm your flight instructor. I tell you all of these things. Like I said at the beginning, you're the tick. You're the trader in command of your cockpit. But again, and it's always funny at cocktail parties, whatever, people are like, oh, you're an options trader. I hear that's really scary and dangerous. I'm like, that tells me that you're completely ignorant. Somebody please tell me why I would spend 19 grand today to buy 100 shares of Amazon when I can have an options contract that does the same thing. And they can't, after I give them the 10-minute spiel I just gave you, they're like, why wouldn't I do this? Precisely. Folks, and Fausto can attest to this, folks, in the early 70s, the white men with the cigars in the back rooms in Chicago were like, why don't we come up with a call option? I instead of buying 1,000 shares of this damn thing, why don't we, hey, here's 10 contracts, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. There is no way in the early 70s, folks, when they came out with options, they could have foreseen Al Gore inventing the internet and that unwashed retail traders like Valentine or Whiz would come into this type of thing. So if you think options trading is dangerous and creepy and ooga booga, they did their job. Like, no, this is only for really smart people and it's extremely risky. Beware. I just showed you what the risk is. There ain't no surprise attacks to pop out of the screen later. You see the risk. Now, I'm pretty damn sure over the next couple of years, Amazon is most likely going to go up and to the right, and it's going to print money, folks, which is a good thing. Let's go. Let me look at that chart. I like looking at this one. Let's bring up Amazon. Yeah, I will. I don't want to go too long. He's a working man. He's got work to do. But look at that chart of Amazon, man. It's a behemoth. How about a year chart? 1.5 years. Does anybody see a trend in Amazon? It's up and to the right. Now, all bets are off. I'm going to hedge real quick. War in Europe, war in the Middle East, war between China and Taiwan, raging inflation. The Fed. I mean, there are so many out here in the white, folks. There's a lot. Let me put a big question mark out here. We make our money out here in the white. Fausto and I don't know a single broker that's going to let you trade off the left side of a chart. you you, you got to trade off the right side of the chart, which is out here. So I briefed you on the potential threats to just trading Amazon, and I've briefed you on the potential goods of just trading Amazon. Okay, I've done my job as a fighter pilot and an options trader. Options ain't hard, folks. I promise you, and I'll give you 8 training sessions to do that. Let me finish up here, and then I see there's a bunch of questions. And like I said, I'm a fighter pilot. I will be on time to that target, plus or minus 1 second. I guarantee you. I used to love doing flybys in the F-18 because I would research the national anthem singer. It takes an average of a minute 27 seconds because I wanted to time my flyover to Home of the Brave. If I was early or late, I don't think I was ever early or late. Matter of fact, Roush Racing, what's his name? Roush, the guy that owns it. I have 5 Home of the Brave coins, like silver coins. He's like, if you nail the flyby to Home of the Brave, I'm going to give you a coin. So I'm going to keep Fausto on time. Solo Amazon is the name of our trading service. It's only $8.97 a year, folks. I'll give you 2 months free if you do an annual, or it's $97 a month. Now, before I did my psychedelic assisted therapy, I was a drinker. $97 is a crappy bottle of wine. I don't drink anymore, thank God, due to my psychedelic assisted therapy. But it's essentially $97, folks, is a bottle of wine. You join me for a month, and it's $97 a month for the rest of your life. Ain't no, it goes up mysteriously the second month, $97 a month. Or you get a 20% discount, or essentially 2 months free if you do the annual. Looking at there's our Amazon position, crushing it, having an absolute blast, just trading Amazon. Whiz, every Monday at 10, I work for a living. 80% of our members work for a living, folks. I send out email alerts, and with a screenshot of the trade, the risk in the trade, everything I just did, you get in an email if you're not in the brief. And it takes about 30 minutes after we get done the brief for the replay to render and for me to post it on the replay page. People watch it at lunch. People watch it at night when the kids go to bed. So, no big deal if you can't attend. Chris, I'm so geeked. Been a subscriber for almost 3 years now, and this is the first time I've been able to attend live. I only know you via the replays. Today, I'm going to throw in the manuals. It's $97 a month. If you went to my homepage today to buy these manuals, they're $197. So for all the political science majors in the crowd like me, you just made $100. These are yours. You keep these forever. They're worth $200, and you're only paying $97. So I'm throwing those in as a good bonus. So here's what you get: access to the live trade brief every Monday at 10, the email alerts, the manuals, and we have a ready room. We have it like an online forum where you can ask me questions, your fellow members and traders, and post your intel and all that stuff. It's called the ready room. Bob, 37. I'm not going to ripple through these. I'm going to keep Fausto on time. Like I said, if you want to test fly for a month, $97. Now I feel like the Flex Seal tape guy, but wait, there's more. There is. Make sure it's only $295, folks, for the 8 training videos, man. These things are worth their weight in gold. I don't slam other people, but there are people out there who sell videos of them in front of a whiteboard from 20 years ago teaching option stuff for $5,000. I'm like, are you high? $295, folks. We're going to take a building block approach in your options training. This is the market. This is a call. This is a put. Each one of these briefs is about an hour-ish, hour and a half. Building block approach. I showed up the Pensacola Naval Air Station not knowing how to fly a fighter jet. In a short amount of time, I knew how to fly a fighter jet. Building block approach. Same thing I do in our training. This guy, Utah. If you know the Blue Angels, Mark Provo was a Blue Angel. He's a FedEx captain. Called me months ago. He's like, dude, I don't know how to trade. I don't even know what a stock is. Can you teach me? In less than 20 trading days, I'm up $15,000 on a $40,000 account. So, folks, this ain't hard. If a former Blue Angel, Utah, can do it, you can do it too. Yeah, I'll give you the link in a second. Solo Amazon, folks, newest live trading service. The other briefs I do throughout the week are 167 a month because we trade psychedelics. I day trade the S&P 500. I do a bunch of other stuff, so that's why they're a little bit more expensive. Solo Amazon, I just trade Amazon, folks, so it's a cheaper brief. If you didn't learn anything today, I clearly failed, but I'm pretty sure you did. But if you take anything away from this brief, folks, do yourself a favor. Go look at your trading cockpit. Are you like my doctor buddy who's trading 33 names? And Fausto, I can defer to him a little bit. We do this for a living, man. This is what we do. We eat, breathe, and sleep this stuff, and we ain't trading like 33 different names, folks. You really have to simplify your trading cockpit. Do a little bit of your own debrief. Take a look at your own portfolios and go, you know what? Maybe I should kind of clean this stuff up a little bit here. So let me give you the link real quick, and I'll scroll through these questions. But so you got two choices. It's $97 a month for the rest of your life. That doesn't make sense. Upgrade into the annual. Try it out for a couple months at $97 a month. Like I said, it's a crappy bottle of wine to see how I do it for a month. If you want to stay in a monthly, knock yourself out. Better for me as a businessman. But that's why I came up with an annual. I'm like, you know what? Do an annual, and I'll give you 2 months for free. Essentially a 20% discount. So those are the two options right there on that page, either $97 a month or $897 a year. All right, let me ripple through these things, and I'll give it back to your pilot in command here. Helen, great question. Do you ever buy Amazon puts when the market as a whole retraces? I do, but sometimes, Helen, when the overall market's retracing, Amazon ain't. I tell people, when in doubt, run to Ma. If you're ever in doubt, you run to your Ma, right? Microsoft and Amazon. Whenever the market's kind of freaking out a little bit, any high flyer names get destroyed, and money never sleeps, to quote Gordon Gekko. Money never sleeps, pal. Capital has to go somewhere. As Fausto can attest to, portfolio managers don't get paid to sit in cash. They need to be in something. Mm-hmm. At the end of the year, when I ran the bonus committee up in my trading firm, if the guy's like, here's my positions, Whiz, I did nothing. I sat in cash. You're fired. So Helen, if Amazon is pulling back, we'll look at bearish positions, but not all the time when the market pulls back does Amazon. If in fact, it actually goes up. Bradley, how much money do you need to get started with this? I'm not an investment advisor, broker dealer, but Bradley, you can open a brokerage account for $1,000 at E-Trade. I think another 1,000 gives you margin capabilities. But Bradley, we got people trading smaller accounts, a couple grand, $5,000, $10,000, and we have multi-millionaires trading here at Top Gun Options. So it's not super a lot of capital, but again, I can't. I'd love to have lunch with you, Bradley, and talk you through all that type of stuff. But that's why those registered investment advisors, broker dealers get paid the big money. Traded options in 1976, Larry. I want to have a drink with you, man. you probably know. That's cool. Amazon hitting 190. Kind of stupid to generalize in politics. Helen, what I was getting at with the, Democrats hate Amazon thing is they wanted to tax, right? They really wanted to go after Amazon and Jeff Bezos because he's a billionaire and we want to go after our billionaires. And it's not a trick. He kind of does the I don't make any money thing. So again, I put the disclaimer out there, the politics thing. I really don't care about that. Amazon always on my screen and for many, many years. What platform do you use? I use E-Trade. I'm an E-Trade guy. It was Trade Monster. I like John and Pete. I like that platform. So, Scott, and one more thing, and then I'll give it back to Fausto because I went 2 minutes late, which
that's fine. That's fine. Matt, let me tell you, and I'm going to talk a little bit about, as much as Matt's talking about the, trading options, I'm going to tell you a little bit more about how to follow price action and orders on Amazon because it was, I do a lot of I see you too, Matt, all the time posting on your Instagram and on your YouTube, on your shorts. I do that every day, but I'm gonna show you a video I just did about 2 days ago. If everyone sticks around, so don't go anywhere. But Matt, one of the big things that some people always ask though is listen, there are 20,000 stocks out there. Some people think they probably missed this one. Is it too late? Is there anything new that you might want to consider. Because remember, the style is the style, right? I mean,
Correct.
you got a style, you know what to look for. Like when I teach my traders, it's all about like it's all money management
Mm-hmm.
and it's all owning at the right price.
Correct.
But is there anything else we could probably look at just in case? Because
Yeah,
there's
bro, I'm glad you asked that because I was just about to read Scott's comment. Psychedelics have changed my life. Best thing for depression, ladies and gentlemen. These might I will call them exactly what they are, but they're not. That makes sense to me, at least. The publicly traded psychedelic stocks will absolutely explode. The FDA has given us a date, February, August 11th. They are set to rule on MDMA being legalized for therapeutic use. So the publicly traded, let me give you this link real quick, psychedelicalpha.com live. I'm not a big water cooler guy. Hey, this is the next hottest thing. I'm going to be that guy today. This is the rest of the hottest thing. When MDMA is approved for therapeutic use this summer, do you remember? Fausto and I are old enough to remember this. There wasn't urgent cares or dialysis centers. Something was wrong. You went to the hospital.
right.
There's urgent cares on every block. There's dialysis centers. Goldman Sachs recently said there's a need for 16,000 clinics to be able to do MDMA. So the psychedelic space is exploding, but will explode. Let me give you a little ETF right now, the Whiz ETF. These are the names I would look at right now in the psychedelic space. MindMed just came out with earnings yesterday. Look at this. So the CFO's like, I had a great time here, but I'm moving on to a different place. Look at what happened this morning after they reported earnings. CFO's leaving, and then everybody jumped in and said, well, who cares? MindMed, I would buy with both hands. MNMD. Compass, CMPS, another psychedelic name. Atai, ATAI, Life Sciences.
So funny. I day traded all these stocks in the past.
Oh, did you?
Oh yeah, all of every single one of them.
Oh my God, man. And Cybin, CYBN, Bobby Axelrod, Steve Cohen from Axe Capital just bought 30 million shares of Cybin. So I'll be brutally honest, these are lottery tickets. But and Scott just said it saved his life. It saved and changed my life. The psychedelic space is exploding, and there is no turning back. The who was it recently? MM120, generalized anxiety disorder, cured 85% of the people that were suffering from generalized anxiety disorder. Who doesn't want this? Big Pharma and the alcohol and tobacco lobby. Let me real quick tell you, I'm bipolar in this space too. As Whiz, I don't want what I'm about to tell you to happen, but it will happen. All these public psychedelic companies are burning through a ton of cash doing phase 1, phase 2, phase 3 trials. All the trials, knock on wood, have been insane. 73% after the MDMA trials, 0 PTS, like clinically healed. If you're sitting on the top floor of Pfizer, Moderna, Eli Lilly, or Johnson & Johnson, smoking your cigar, reading the Wall Street Journal, you're a little worried. When I did the medicine with Marcus Luttrell, he's like, Whiz, I was on 15 meds, 5 to wake up, 5 for lunch, 5 to go to bed. In the past 3 years, Marcus Luttrell hasn't taken a single medication. It's a pill factory, the VA and Big Pharma. Here's what I'm rambling about. I don't want this to happen. It will happen. Right now, Big Pharma is speaking with forked tongue. Oh, this stuff's a little creepy. They are over here trying to do what? Whiz did ibogaine. It was a 12 to 14 hour ass kicking. Why don't we change this molecule, call it ibogaine? We patent it and it's 20 grand. They are going to swoop in and scoop up these publicly traded psychedelic companies with a big stroke of the checkbook. I guarantee you that's going to happen. These results are just insane to ignore. These companies burn through the cash. They will be scooped up by Big Pharma in the next year to 2 years. So I'm glad you asked that, Fausto. Scott, I'm glad you healed with these medicines because I told you 30 minutes ago. I'm like, all I trade is Amazon, massive long-term bullish position, psychedelics, and my S&P 500 trade. So if you feel like I've missed the AI boom or the next big thing, do a little research into this space, and I guarantee you didn't miss anything. Shameless plug, the No Fallen Heroes, we have our YouTube channel for our foundation. I debrief our veterans, our researchers. Matter of fact, this podcast that just dropped today is with Dr. Johnson from Johns Hopkins. This guy did the initial psilocybin study with stage 4 cancer patients. I'm going to die. I'm so terrified. 85% after one dose of psilocybin, no fear of death, and it improved their quality of life. So a very long answer to Fausto's short question. Absolutely look into the psychedelic space. A little bit of a lottery ticket, but maybe Fausto, since he was trading these a little bit too, can shed some light into his stuff too.
Yeah, we actually keep an eye. Listen, we're very big when it comes to pharmaceutical stocks, as much as everyone hates pharma, but like I'm pretty big on all the weight loss drugs like Nuvo,
Ozempic,
and I own Eli Lilly and everything else. And like, listen, there's, and you know what? We could sit here and have a podcast just on that alone, just as traders thinking of it. But, and I think that's something that you and I think we should probably do one day, like have a podcast on that, because I think a lot of people have to understand like how the concept of like, listen, you might not believe in this, but as traders, does it really matter?
Amen.
Like, we could tell like it changed someone's life, but like the why does the stock keep going down? That's something that, we learn as traders. But anyway, but getting back to Matt's whole thing, guys, try his promo that he's got. I wouldn't have money if I didn't think it was worth your time. And then, like I said, you could do month by month, and then you could always upgrade later. And like I said, we're just happy to have him on here and be able to pass his knowledge, and look forward to having him back. But Matt, thank you so much.
Fausto, man, I appreciate it, brother. You still got to get down here, and we're going to throw you in the back. So let's do that. It'll be a dual day. We'll go bend the fighter jet around, and then we'll do a podcast in the studio when you're down here.
Yeah, just let me know. I saw you take that thing out. That's what I asked before we go. The same gauges, are they the ones you had in the beginning? Are they on the old one that you had, or is it?
Oh God, yeah, man. My jet's it's a 1982 L39. So ain't no flat panel glass things in my jet. So it's steam gauges. But
so you really got to be focused.
Yeah. And it was funny because when, I logged in and you had that country music playing, let me give you this link real quick. If you are a country music fan, I took Dustin Lynch flying.
Oh, did you really?
In the jet last year. One of the nicest guys in the world. And yeah, he's a good dude. But yeah, you come down here, we'll knock out a podcast, and I'll throw you in the jet, and we'll get some
Let's
videos.
Like I said, let me know what your schedule is, like anytime, like like in June or something. I'm ready. I'll come tomorrow, for crying out loud. I mean, I'm down.
Well, wait until hockey season's over, because I'm all about the Panthers right now, baby. So
maybe I complain about the Rangers, so it's gonna be pretty fun. But actually, one of the top players on the Rangers is one of my friends. He lives 2 towns away from me. He went to high school. He's my nephew's best friend.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, what the hell's his name? He's one of the best players on the Rangers. He actually left school as a high school, and he went up to Canada to get trained. He was that great.
Oh yeah.
What's his name? Jesus, I'm drawing a blank. You probably know what I'm talking about. Not Luck. What's his name? Oh man,
begins with an L.
I totally forgot. He's got a short name. Jewish kid. He's great for now. He's a defensive player on the team. He's like their best player. He just signed a huge contract with them.
Are you a Rangers fan?
I'm a Jet fan, unfortunately.
Roger. I
get football, but no, a little bit more of an Islanders. It's
tough.
Yeah, it is. It has been tough. It's been tough. I was around there when they won all the Stanley Cups back in the day, but that was like you talking about in the 80s.
Exactly.
But Matt, thanks for coming. And guys, we're gonna pick up where we left off. And Matt, I thought we'll be in touch. And
all right, brother.
On that thing, okay?
Thanks for having me, man. I appreciate it.
Anytime, brother. Bye-bye.
Yeah.
All right, traders. So let's continue. Let me just stop this recording, and we're going to pick up where we left off. And I want to share, because I want to talk a little bit about what Matt was covering on that Amazon trade, because you know what? Something really spectacular happened. And I think when you see what just happened on that, it's going to really, really blow your mind. So let me just bring up my PowerPoint really quick. And let me just get started right here. Just give me a second right here. And hold on a second. Let me share my screen. Oh, hold on. All right, there we go. Resume share and all right. And let me start the recording again. So we have another recording for us. All right, perfect. All right, so let me just get a quick little chat. Can anybody tell me who's actually new here? I know it's just give me a chat and let me know just out of curiosity. Who's new here? Lewis, you are okay. A couple of people. All right. Well, anyway, I'm going to kind of cover and talk a little about exactly what he basically went over regarding about the Amazon trade, because something really great happened, and I think you're really going to like what's going on. But once again, before we get started, just quick little disclosure, like we all do. Listen. Now, I'm not going to make any guarantees and promises, basically vary student to student. So just please be very smart. It is very high risk in trading. So be very smart before you make your trades out there. Now, what I want to do is I want to go right to the live markets. All right. And I want to show you what's going on right here. And I'm going to start off talking with Amazon. All right. So here's Amazon. All right. Here's the execution system. Now, this is what I want you to focus on right here. All right. Does everybody see this number? All right. This number right here. Okay. Does everybody see that right there? Let me draw my crayons for all the people that can't see too well. Right there, and right there. And the number is right there. Okay. Now, my question to everyone here is this. What makes stocks go up and go down? Let me see how everyone answers that question. How do stocks go up and go down? If you can't answer this question, you should quit trading right now. Contracts, no, Brady. Everybody should answer this question. And by the way, I want to see everyone answer this question because that means that you're listening. All right. And you're not dwindling on your phone and watching TV. I want every single person in here to write the letter B and S. Thanks, Joe, Lois, Helen, Jan, Scott. Okay. Buyers and sellers. Okay. Now, I want to show you something of a screenshot I took this morning. Okay. Does everybody see that right there? That big red yellow line. Everybody see that? You know what that red line is? That is a huge seller. And that seller got executed. Now, let me show you exactly what that seller is and what does that mean? All right. I'm going to show you something called level 4. All right. And here's level 4. And I'm going to show you right here. Let me clear this out. Your old drawings. And I want to show you something very cool. Oh, there it is. I was like, way to go. That's not it. There it is right there. All right. Could everyone just type in, what number is that right there? What number is that? $190, right? Everybody got that? Okay. Now, I want to go to my YouTube channel. Now, is everyone subscribed to my YouTube channel? Here. All right, we post a link up there. I want everybody to go out there, click on it. I want you to subscribe to it. I want you to ring the damn bell, okay? And give me a thumbs up. So I'm going to show you something that's going to blow your mind, okay? Watch this. I'm going to go to my short videos, all right? And I want you to read this, okay? Now what I want to do is I want to show you one other video. Okay.
Ever want to know why a stock has a tough time breaking a major resistance level? It keeps backing off. Let's go see what happened in Amazon. Amazon's been doing really good on the day for today. Every time it hits this number over here at 190, it keeps backing off. And then now it's all of a sudden, it's back up there again. Program trading kicked in and this big red line just showed up. That number is at 190. But why 190? 190 is a 370,000 share seller. 370,000 shares equals $70 million worth of stock that is sitting out there at 190. Could they be the day when Amazon breaks through 190 and make an all-time high? Well, there's no way to find out. We got to get past that big iceberg order because being a market maker, that's what we do. And that's why you have to tune in at Cyber Trading University.
So right there, ladies and gentlemen, what just happened? Now that video, okay, was posted. Let me go back to my channel. And I want to show you something right here. So that video short, I scroll down here at the bottom. It was done. I think I posted like 2 days ago, 3 days ago. Okay. Now, what is Amazon? Where's Amazon trading today? Where'd it go? Where'd it go to? Can everybody tell me? It broke 190. It hit 190, came back down, took that iceberg order of 400,000 shares. Okay. That order was a couple of days ago. He's been out there every effing morning. Okay. With program trade every morning. Finally took him out. All right. Now, what do I see? Okay. Let me go show you what happened in the video. NVIDIA, if you go and you watch in the histories of my shorts, where is it? It was one of, is it this one? Man stock made big moves. I started getting a little bit better with it. That was Apple. MGLN, AMC, where is it? It was right here. I believe it was one of these videos right here. Anyway, I don't want to waste too much time talking about it. I want to go right to it. So NVIDIA right here at 500 for the past several months had about a 200,000-300,000 share seller. Never wanted to break it. Finally, on this day, it took out all those sellers, every one of them. He's been out there for months. What happened when it broke 500? It ran from 500 and did not even look twice, okay? Once it took out that big seller. Now, let me ask the question one more time. How do stocks go up and go down in the market? How do they go up and down in the market? But everyone just write BNS, okay? And not the BNS that other people think of. This ain't bullshit. This is buyers and sellers, okay? Excuse my French, but people are like, oh, how do you know if this is bullshit or not? I'm not. That is buyers and sellers. That's where it comes down to it. So listen, I'm a New York person. We just tell you the way it is. And if you go out there and you don't follow the orders, you're kind of trading blind. And that's why you're here. So this is what we're going to cover. I'm going to talk about how we find these stocks, how the institutions trade these orders, how they scan the market, all that good stuff of how to trade it. Now, that's why I've been showcased at all these brokerage firms, these financial stations, even featured at NASDAQ. And you know why? Because they want you to know how to trade the market. All right. Actually, at the end of this presentation, I'm going to give you my book for free, okay, which is called How to Beat Market Makers at Their Own Game. Now, like Matt just told you, Matt was a market maker just like me. We know how they play the game. And 90% of the people blow up their account because they don't know how to play the game. All right. Listen, we're doing it for 30 years. obviously I must know something to still be around here. And the one thing I've learned 30 years ago when I got started, my mentors always said, if you want to be competitive in this industry, it's not what Fausto thinks. It's not what you think, Terrence. It's not what you think, Helen, Philip, everyone. It's what the street thinks. And the street is following the money. All right. Now, why is Amazon going up? Because buyers went out there, pushed it. But you don't have to always just trade Amazon. You could trade the option on it, let's say, and that's okay. But that's why I leave it to Matt to come over here and tell you why. I knew Matt was basically trying to tell you from, telling you all the benefits of, why it's a great, why it's great to have, the company's phenomenal, and why you hate Steve Bezos. He's a cheap bastard, not paying his employees. Listen, you know what? You can't take things personal, because if he hated him so much, why is he buying the stock? Right? That's what you have to understand. And that's what trading is all about. But there are so many stocks out there, fellow traders, every day. I mean, you're in earnings week. It's not just about Amazon. They do this on every single stock. And the way it works is buyers and sellers, which I want to lead to that question to ask all of you. How many of you here own a position and don't know where those 400,000 share buyers and sellers are? I mean, think about it. Wouldn't this give you more smarter and better trading decisions if you knew where they were? Right? Wouldn't that help? Well, that's where it all starts. And that's why, I do these videos to kind of get some of you to kind of get the feeling, does this guy really know what he's talking about? And not because, you know what? Me, Matt, all of them, all these people we have at Cyber Trade University, we deal, listen, there are a lot of bad actors out there. There are a lot of bad actors, okay? And it's something that we have to deal with every day. By the way, I'm going to tell you the best person not to learn from, the best person, okay? You guys ready about it? Anyone that goes out there and shows you their Lamborghini, okay, showing you feeding giraffes, showing you, the stacks of cash on his dashboard on his car. Those are the people you don't want to learn from. Now, I'm not saying they don't make it, okay? But let's think about this for a second. Do you have that much stack of cash to put in an idea? I don't think anybody would do that. That's poor money management, okay? I know a lot of kids that made a lot of money, trading Bitcoin. I know a lot of kids that made a lot of money trading, GameStop. You ever watch the movie? I saw a lot of people that lost a lot of money in the financial crisis, okay? Don't believe me? Go watch The Big Short, okay? No, listen, you want to get entertained? You could go watch The Wolf of Wall Street. You want to learn how to trade? You got to watch that stock. Go watch the movie. I just saw it. I saw it on the plane. BlackBerry, the true story behind BlackBerry. The other big true story about GameStop. The whole other true story that they even did one, which Matt was talking about, was on the one in Texas. Who was he talking about? Shoot, I'm drawing a blank. Which one was he talking about? The one that was in Texas, another fraudulent company that did all that scams. But anyway, the point is, you just got to know how to play the game. And as a trader, you would see that. Enron, thank you very much, Joe, for sharing that. Enron was the other one. Maybe some of you here from Canada, you probably heard of Nortel. You know how many people I think there's not one person I traded in Canada did not own Nortel, and they rode that damn thing down all the way to its last penny. If you knew how to follow the orders, you would not have that problem. But let's talk about GameStop recently, because GameStop's moving pretty well lately. Why is it moving up? Well, do you think it's the hedge funds? Do you think it's the analysts? How about this? How about just going back and look at the past and see what orders are out there that are moving it up? Because it's all about the volume that moved it up, and it's all about the big buyers that showed up. So, question to ask everyone here. Does anyone here have level 2 quotes? Just let me know, yes or no. Anybody have level 2? Jane, you do. Raymond. Okay, Terrence, you do. Okay. Now, the problem with level 2, it's outdated since the late 90s, but it does have some good value, which we kind of teach in our class. But for some of you don't know how to read it, let me just kind of explain what we're looking at really quick. All right. Let me get the crayons out here. All right. So anyway, these are your buyers and these are your sellers. And you got 3 columns, 1, 2, and 3. The first column gives you a 4-letter abbreviation of the brokerage firm. Second column tells you the price, and the third column tells you how many shares. Everything there is multiply 100. The problem with level 2, it's not showing you every order. For example, New York Stock Exchange, NASDAQ Exchange, ECN, ECN, ECN. There, that is just showing you the best price at that exchange. It's not showing you all the orders. So let me show you what I mean. Now, anyone here use NASDAQ Book Viewer? Well, Helen, we're going to talk about it again. Helen says, I love your lesson on level 3, which I watched again tonight because of my trial. Well, Helen, keep watching it. Keep liking it. Share the wealth. Give it to everybody, okay? All right, good. Now, for the people that don't have it, because there's a lot of you didn't even answer the question, okay? And I hope you're listening, because what I'm about to show you right now is probably going to be the most disturbing thing you have ever heard in your life, because you've been trading blind, okay? And it's time to stop trading blind and stop looking at the rearview mirror. It's time to look in front of the dashboard, okay? So what we got over here is this. Same thing like level 2. You got buy orders and you got sell orders. Now, what we're looking at is at the NASDAQ exchange. And now I've been doing presentations here at the NASDAQ for several years now. The NASDAQ wants you to know how to trade the exchange. They don't care about my style, okay? There's no style. The style is, do you know how to trade on the NASDAQ? This is how NASDAQ works. You have a seat on the exchange. Why would you not want that? Okay. When I started, people paid millions of dollars to have a seat on the exchange. Now you're getting it for $15. Are you kidding me? $15? Yeah. Okay. And I'm going to tell you where to get it. So don't go anywhere. All right. By the way, this is directly through NASDAQ and I don't work for them. I'm only here to be a, how can I say, a messenger to you. All right. Let me show you the value, how it works. We're looking at a stock, looking at this ETF, SOXL, right? SOXL dropped, and you could see it went all the way down to a price right around here, right? Stopped right around here, around 38.80. Why did it stop at 38.80 and go back up to 40? What made it go down, stop, and go back up? Well, it wasn't support levels, fellow traders, as much as everybody thinks, because you can't have support levels without those buyers. So we got to look at the buy column. And as we work our way down, you'll notice right around here, there's a 98,000 share buyer out there. Now, there are buyers at every price level, but there's only 800, there's 1,000, there's 2,000. You're talking almost 100 times more the average than at any single price. Now, I know that some of you look at this and be like, yeah, there's a lot of numbers. It's confusing. No, it's not. 95% of what you see there is garbage. You only care about what we call the iceberg order. That's all it is, the main iceberg order. So let's look at our resistance levels. What is a resistance? Sellers. Look at Google, for example. 300 shares, 200 shares, 100 shares, 168,000 shares looking to be sold at 182. What happened? Google came out with earnings, things shot up, went all the way to some reason, this specific number of, I don't know, 182. And then all of a sudden, you didn't want to go higher and end up going back down to 175. Why 182? I don't know, because probably you had close to about 10,000 more shares of the average order that is out there. Do you want to compete against that? By the way, is anyone here, and I love doing this, okay? Look at my calculator up here. 168,000 times 182 equals $30 million. Anybody put $30 million into an idea? Anyone? I know it's a dumb question. I want a dumb answer. Okay. Anybody put that in there? Terrence is laughing. Yeah, not me, Scott. Because if you did, you probably wouldn't be in this room. Okay. But wouldn't it be nice to know who is? So we don't have to, because obviously somebody wants out of $30 million worth of stock. Wouldn't it be nice to know who that person is? That's what trading is all about. It's money. Now, let's talk about the underlying stock of an option of premium. Here you have GameStop. Let's go back to GameStop. It's going up. Now, looking over time, you'll see that now the stock is starting to trend down. Well, how do you find the underlying orders? When we get down to a price of $15.25, we've got about 87,000 shares looking to be bought. What happened when it hit the underlying number? From 11, 11:30, 12, 12:30. Eventually, it didn't want to go any lower. People just gave up. And that's how you had the stock that hit that specific number of 15.25 and shot up to 17. You know why that is? Not because Fausto said so. It's not because GameStop came out with good earnings. It's not because they said something on CNBC or Fox Business. It's because of that order was sitting out there. When everyone is out there buying 400, 300, 800, and you got an 87,000 share buyer and you have 18 orders that make up that order, guess you know whose team I'm going to be on, right? That's what it's all about. So how did GameStop do on an option call of that day? Not too bad. Up 400% on a day trade. Okay? On a day trade. This is because you could also day trade options and you could also trade stocks, but you don't have to always trade the option. And by the way, to be a good option trader, you got to know how to trade the stock. Because how would you know that that thing would have went up 400%? Let's go over another example. Here's a stock, CCCC, great trend, intraday. You could see how the stock went from 260 all the way to 460 in one day in about an hour and a half. Not bad for a day's pay, right? Why did it go up and bounce from there? Oh, I don't know. Maybe you got a 177,000 share buyer out there pushing it up. Well, look what ended up happening, because sometimes you might think, is it too late to jump in? Maybe not. Because we saw it, even though we missed it in pre-market, and maybe we didn't show up for the power hour at Cybertrade University, and you end up showing for lunch, you know what? From 11:30, 12, 12:30, didn't have a problem breaking this number, only because of that big order out there. That's what trading is all about, because buyers equal support and sellers equal resistance. And if you don't know where the buyers and sellers are, which everyone just mentioned it, where everybody's doing the opposite, they're looking at, oh, where's the support levels? Where's the resistance? Listen, what happened in the past is not indicative of the future. What's indicative of the future is that if you saw support levels back in the past, those support levels were buyers. And that same buyer should be in the future. So what are you doing? Looking at your rearview mirror. Now let's go back to the Google earnings, okay? Because we had a big earnings out there. Getting back to that iceberg order, sitting at 182. Look at all those orders out there. There's not a lot of orders. But there's something called an iceberg order, which we call a big block order out there. And by knowing that, that's what that made that stock hit that resistance and back right off. And guess what? If you didn't get prepared on it the day before, then the next day and the next day, now all of a sudden you didn't take that profit and didn't know that, now you're down to 165. Now you convert a great call of being in at a stock that beat earnings, and who knows, maybe you chased it. But now look where you're at. Let's go over another example. Lyft. Great runner-up. Another earnings stock had, because big earnings week, that's why I'm bringing it up. 1730 all the way to 1830. Great. Now, the next question is, you ever want a stock? Where's the resistance levels? Can anybody tell me? Where's the resistance levels on the stock? Well, What do you think? Anybody want to tell me? Where's the seller? 1840 for 119,000 shares, right, Raymond? Okay. Right, Carlos? Very good. What about you, Donna? What about you, Eric? Helen? I didn't hear from you. Joey, Larry, Phil? You got to follow the money, buddy. Otherwise, you get caught holding the bag. You want to get caught holding the bag? I wouldn't want to. Because if you didn't get out and you're thinking, oh, it's only, I don't know, 119,000. Oh, yeah? Well, someone just brought up a really good comment. I know we have students in here, okay? Someone just asked me, how do I know that's a real order? How do I know that's not fake? How do I know that's not fake? How about this? You want to know how fake it is? This is what we're going to do, Bill. Okay? I mean, John, I'm going to invite you into my trading room. And I will personally guarantee you, I don't care how much money you want to put up, but I will quadruple whatever you put up, that's a real order, and this is how I'm going to prove it. We're going to use your money, and we're going to go, and we're going to find an order like that, and we're going to execute that order. Okay? And you tell me what the answer you get back from your brokerage firm, and you tell me how fake it is. If you get executed, I win. If you get some letter that says, oh, this is a fake order, or it was canceled or doesn't exist, then I will quadruple whatever I give you. Okay, you want to make that bet? I'm all down for it. I don't think anyone here wants to take that bet either. So yeah, they are real. Now, yeah, listen, you could cancel the order. Okay, we think somebody wants to take that gamble? You know what I mean? You want to go out there and dish out a couple of $1 million worth of stock to kind of maybe fake someone out to buy you, because you're trying to make a couple $1,000? I don't think so. All right, now, who here wants Buckley order? Who here wants to get it? This is what you got to do. Email me. Here's my email address. Fausto PSCTU Corp. Okay? Now, with Fausto CTU Corp, okay, email me and I'll get it for you. By the way, this costs $15. Let me write it down for you because I don't think people understand what that means. $15. Okay? $15. That's all it costs to have a seat on the exchange. Why in their right mind would you not want to be able to know where 50% of the volume is on the stock that you're trading right now? Right? Question, does Thinkorswim have it or Tasty Trade? No. They might. I could tell you from experience they don't. All right? Because those brokerage firms are free and they're great platforms. Okay? Someone's got to pay the $15. How many clients do you think Thinkorswim has? 10 million? Right? Do you think they want to dish out? And I'm going to bring my calculator here because this always works. If they had, I'm just blowing out a number. I don't even know if it's true, but let's just say 10 million times, and the exchange charges them $15. You think they want to dish out $150 million a month, okay, to give away free stuff? I don't think so. All right. So, right. So listen. And secondly, you think they want to tell you where those orders are? Remember what Matches told you about payment for order flow? Remember he was talking about that? That's how they make their money. Think they want you to know what they're doing? Probably not. Now, who here knows what level 4 is? Well, let's go back to level 4. Level 4 is this. Level 4 is where we get to see level 2, level 3, but now we get to see it on a chart. We get to see how long he's been out there. We get to see if he's getting executed. We get to see time and sales. Now, yes, it's Bookmap. But the thing is, and I got a good video on this too, but before you go out there and want to start spending, going from $15 to, let's say, $100, why not we start small? Okay. Why don't we start small? And I'm not going to here to go over the details about it, but like, listen, when you see what I basically showed you, like, I need it. But you know what? I need that too. But wouldn't it be nice if someone could teach it to you first? Right? Don't you want to learn how it works first before we do it? So this is what I want to do. All right. I don't want to go into detail about it because I know we've been here for a long time. And I got great examples of showing you how it works in the real live market. But I know you've been here for a while and you probably want to say, okay, Fausto, just get right to the point because I want to see this stuff. I want to see you practice what you preach. So listen, I'm going to invite every single one of you into my trading room and see this live and meet all these traders. Okay. Now, what I want to show you right here is this. Look at these names. Are you familiar with these names on the screen? Cyber Trade University is endorsed and sponsored by every one of these brokerage firms. Do you think that these brokerage firms would put their company at risk to have Fausto do presentations for them? Okay, and endorse them? So don't worry about doing your homework. Okay, and the reputation is already there. All right, because I can almost guarantee you that anybody here takes a training course, you will never ever see anybody without even allowed to put these symbols up on their screen, okay? Because they do their work for you. And not only that, go check out Google reviews. You won't even find companies that have Google reviews because companies could take it down. We got a 5-star rating, okay? Because, and for 30 years, you're not going to hear that. Another thing, this is the trading room. I'm going to do an orientation on it tomorrow. So for everybody that registers today, so nobody gets confused, we're going to do an orientation on it. This is what you're going to get in the trading room. We do live audio commentary from 9 o'clock in the morning to 10:30. We call it the power hour, okay? Then we have the afternoon hour, which is our closing bell hour, which is when you get the second wave. So depending on you're a morning trader or an afternoon trader, we get 2 really valuable times that we trade. But we are trading all day. We have weekly workshops, just like you saw. We had Matt Buckley from Top Gun Options here. We have some of the top gurus. These are everything that you're going to get being part of Cyber Trade University because we feel the better you learn and the faster you learn, the faster you'll become a student. Now, all you need to do is this. Has everybody got their phone? I want you to turn on your camera and I want you to scan that QR code. And when you scan that QR code, I'm going to put you in my trading room for 1 whole week. And we're going to post a link up too also if you're on a computer. Okay. That might be a little bit faster for you. Now, questions that people ask me. How much money do I need to start? You know how much money you need to start? Yeah, we're going to put the link up in there right now. Just right there. It is right there. Okay. It's at ctu.co trial. How much money you need to start? Great question. Okay. $9. That's all you need to trade with right now is $9. That's it. $9. That's all you need. Do I need a brokerage firm to do this? No, we don't want you to trade. We just want you to watch. Where do I get level 3 and level 4 from? Great question. It's a popular question people ask me. This I will cover in our workshop that I'm going to give you for 1 whole week. Okay. Do we also trade options? Yes, we do. Okay. There's the link right now. Don't waste any time. I'm not asking for $90 or $9,000 or $90,000. I'm asking for $9. Now the $9, okay, I am not going to charge you anything more, anything less. This $9 only, all it does is for us, for Cyber Trade University, just tells if you're a real person or not. Okay. I don't know where you're from. I don't know your name. I see some person's name here is his name is Wolf Trader. I don't know who Wolf Trader is. Okay. But I like to get to know you. All you got to do is register for $9. Now, let me tell you all the great benefits you're going to get. Okay. Number 1, you're going to get my book. You can buy it on Amazon for $47, or I can give it to you for free for the $9 trial that you're going to do. I am also going to be giving you a workshop. I'm going to give you a trader's library. You're going to have access to the trading room, and I'm going to give you money back guaranteed. So listen, I don't really need your $9. Okay. I am looking to recruit traders I could teach how to trade. And as one more bonus, I'm going to throw in there for everyone that registers for $9, the first 20 people that register, I will personally give you a coaching class. Now, think about this for a second. Fausto is going to talk to me. Yeah, that's right, Terrence. I'll talk to you. Helen, I'll talk to you. I mean, listen, this $9 is really an application fee to be part of my team. And then I have to interview you to make sure that you are the right person for the team, because you know what? This is a job interview. And I'm not going to go out there and spend my staff's time or waste your time to come into a trading room if it's not even for you or not. So instead of going out there and wasting money and everything else, this is how we kind of filter out and weed out the serious people and the non-serious people. Okay. And it all starts with $9. Now, just want to go over a couple of things here really quick. I got a couple of people that just registered right now. So, Wayne, I got your registration. Welcome aboard. Mario, got your registration. Welcome aboard. I see you guys just registering right now. Andrew, got your registration. Welcome aboard. All right. Appreciate the vote of confidence, and to see people just registering right now. Coming across here. George, got your registration. Everyone got your registration. Fellow traders, yes, David, whatever you miss will be recorded. Absolutely. But listen, $9, okay? You want to learn how to play the game? You want us to know why we've been doing this for 30 years, why we've been endorsed by the biggest brokerage firm in the industry? You want to learn how to trade the market and understand what it's like to be a Wall Street market maker? Here's your opportunity to do it. You got the link up there, or you can take your phone and scan that QR code, whatever is easy for you. All right. Any other question? Any thoughts I see if I sign up for another week? No problem, Helen. Like I said, if you want to sign up for another week, you're more than happy to. Okay. Maybe, I listen, I know sometimes people don't really take it seriously in the beginning. They're like, it's $9. Or you know what? Now you're back here and like, you know what? I didn't realize how in-depth it was after seeing it. Sure, no problem. Absolutely. Do we have access to phase 1 classes on a trial? No. Okay. First of all, it's a waste of your time to be in there, but we are going to give you, we already have workshops already designed for you to kind of get you understand what's going on. Phase 1, phase 2, and phase 3 of our courses, they are more geared not to teach how to make money, to teach how to stop losing it. Okay. So first, let's go see and make a judgment call if we know what we're talking about. And also, because remember, it's not just me. We have several instructors that work at Cybertrade University. So the goal is to go out there, listen to the other people out there, and see if our students are doing well. And then if you want to take it seriously, we'll have that conversation. I'll trade you for some training psychology input specific tip. Well, listen, I appreciate that, Helen, and you know what? Psychology definitely has a lot to do with it. And believe me, I have a lot of doctors in there too. But yes, that right now, the most important thing is about hitting the button. Okay. That's really what it comes down to it. You got to, that's the first hump. You can't be a deer in the headlights. And a lot of people are. And the psychological part about it is people don't like to take losses. But fellow traders, like I said, it's $9. Go out there, make an investment. What do you got to lose? Helen, is that you, Helen, that got registered? I just got your registration right now. Appreciate it. Where you, Montana? Is that where you're from? Okay. Okay, good. It's funny, we got a lot of traders from Montana. Must be a big community of traders in that area. Terrence, we've been pushing that button for almost 4 years. Well, I guess that's why we're here, right? Great traders never stop learning. All right, traders, listen, you got the link right there. I don't know what you have to worry about, what you have to lose. I know we have a lot of traders and students here that are here to help promote you guys be here. I know it's been a long time to talk, but let's go out there and learn how to trade. Get in the trading room, and let's pick up where we left off. All right, guys? Thank you much for registering. Oh, let me hold on. A couple more people are registering, a couple of more shout outs. Kevin S., Just got your registration. Where you from? Hawaii. Oh my God. All the way. What time's in Hawaii right now? Just curious. I know probably I know it's pretty early right there. What time's in Hawaii? Is that 8 hours behind? Okay. No problem. Yo Yankees and go Rangers. 5 hours? Okay. Kevin's 5 hours. Okay. That was more than that. All right. Well, listen, you can always trade the afternoon too. Well, hopefully Aaron Rodgers and the Jets will do pretty well. There's the link, everybody. I got to go. Got one more chance to sign up. Click on that link. Let's get involved. Let's learn how to follow the money. Let me show you how this market works. The only thing it can help you, not hurt you. And once again, money back guaranteed. And then not only that, but when you register, make sure you talk to your education advisor. You're all going to be able to book an appointment. We're all going to talk on the phone, and we'll have that conversation, kind of answer your questions in detail after you experience a CTU program. And then hopefully, like I said, you take us seriously, we'll take you seriously, because there's just way too many people that lose money in trading, and I don't want that person to be you. Thanks for listening, everybody. Let's go out there and learn if you want to earn. Happy trading, everyone. I'll see you all in the trading room.